There we go. Such a good book. Oh, hey, listen. Oh, you caught me doing something else. Don't worry. That's for Monday. I have something totally different and interesting to show you today. So let's go that way. You know when Blade and Sorcery is all about, well, this type of stuff? Well, we're going to go over a couple of missed opportunities in Blade and Sorcery. I know. I love Blade and Sorcery too, but I feel like they did do a couple of misses in 1.0. This is not a hate video, of course, but this is just pointing a few things out. Things from, well, the player home to a lot of these other maps. So today we're going to explore some of the, well, unused things in 1.0's Crystal Hunt for Blade and Sorcery. So for starters, let's actually, well, go up here. So we all know the player island, right? And we all know where you start from. That's right. You start from over here. This is the tutorial. If you guys remember, you climb up, you knock someone to their doom, and you go through there, and you find yourself the nice Dalgarian door. There's also this thing. Don't worry about that thing right now. We're also not going to go over any type of spoilers right now, so if you question about this cave door, that's on you. We're not going to go over that one. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about things in other levels and also things in the player home. So, for starters, if we go down over here to where the player lives, and you have, well, your bees. Why are there bees here? It's only here, and they also do damage and they can sting you. Look at this. They're stinging me. Why? Why are they just in here? You should have added bees to dungeons and maybe like someone can make a mod like portable bees. You can open a jar and bees sting people. And then you have this. I know, listen, we're not going to talk about the horse in the room. I'm going to go right past that. And here is Jonathan's home, but you can't bring Jonathan back. So I know this is nitpicky right now, but why is there a house for Jonathan and you can't bring Jonathan back? You have to use mods or a cheat to have a Jonathan here. And even if you do, he doesn't save. It's not fair. It's not fair, my horse friend. By the way, we're calling him Howard. Okay, nitpicking over. Let's actually go and do exactly what I'm talking about. We're going to start off in a lot of these levels. I want to make my point clear. So we're going to start off at the newest one, the Sanctuary. If you guys didn't know, the Sanctuary actually completely replaced the Ruins, which I kind of missed the Ruins, but let's go ahead and dive in. If you haven't seen this map, well, this is a sanctuary. Basically, it's like an old chapel-esque temple that broke or something in the lore. If you could, I wonder if it's in the lore and I'm just being crazy, but let's look around. If you're playing Crystal Hunt, you know that you're going into outposts and you're going into, well, dungeons, right? But why don't you come to these levels? Like, I know you can like talk to Baron and go on like, not even like a side quest, but the side quest says go into the arena, go into somewhere and fight a couple of battles and win money. And you just win money so you can buy things from the shop. So I guess that does count as you going there, but it would make sense that you just go there for like mini quests and not only to go to the dungeons. Like Baron should tell you to come here to the Sanctuary and fight like cult members that have, I don't know, collected a couple of crystal fragments and they're trying to, I don't know, summon Shenron or something over there, and you have to go in there, you fight them, you destroy them. Not a boss fight, but just a couple of, you know, dudes. You fight them, they drop crystals, and you pick up those crystals, and you could also use them to level up when you bring them back. Like, why not? But I digress. That's not the spirit of this video right now. The spirit of the video is actually looking around at all these things. So this is like the main zone right here. You can obviously tell that a lot of like love went into this map. You have the king here, which, by the way, you can kind of like grab his sword and use it. I don't know if you guys knew that, but you can wield the king's blade. In fact, let's look at a person. There you go, person. And now we're going to use the nice king's blade against you. This one can defeat any nemesis, and you seem like a nemesis, so don't go anywhere. I'm just going to go, whoop. Okay, well, I missed. Move this, and we're going to take the ladder up and explore, because there's like some like books and stuff up there. Can this thing move? We are almost up here. Good. Now, this is obviously like where someone would sit, like they were writing. That's like their cup that they would drink. And then you have like their little bookshelves here. And you have mostly non-lootable books. Like you have one. I could be like, yeah, I took one book from there. You have a little rope spot that you can climb up. And this one is where you would go into like the rafters. Like you have like a little, almost like an assassination side quest could be here. I mean, I guess people can make this stuff like with the quest framework, but you have like a hidden meat hook up here. Like, why do you have hidden stuff up here that like I don't know, is like outside of the scope of your game. Like imagine like there's someone down there, right? And I was contracted like, okay, you must go there and assassinate the prime cult, whatever. And you're like, all right, I can do that. Let me just jump. Basically, it'll look like this. Let me show you. Take this prime cult member. Like that. Now looking around is kind of like more of the same. We're going to go somewhere really cool in just a second. But up here, you know, like you would just kind of like walk around, like I would imagine, you know, other things to do. I think this might be breakable. No. Yeah, it's breakable. Good. Just a bunch of, I don't know. Yeah, these are sandbox maps, but you could have done so much with these sandbox maps. I don't know why these technically have to exist outside the realm of the meaning of Crystal Hunt. Like it's evident that something happened here. Like they have like the I forgot what faction it is, but this faction like took this as like one of their like little bases. Destroyed floors, like a battle happened here. But now let's go to the secret area. In fact, I'm going to use their fire to light my fire because I love, you know, these type of effects passes. You used to be able to do this one prior to 1.0, you know, just saying. But anyway, so let's go down here and you have like a spooky basement. You know, this like spooky-esque basement could have been used for other things. You have another wave spawner down here and book. I wonder if you guys knew about this. I would hope so. I would hope you're exploring maps, but this is kind of like French catacombs, you know? That's what this reminds me of, like underground in their city, and you can move around. It's just cool. It's just very cool. It's like a tomb almost. There could have been an important book over here, and imagine like you could just like burn other wood, like you could just go in here and start torching like their libraries. Let's go over here on this side. This here is kind of like I want to say reused, but if you were using a permadeath character and your character dies on your save file, you get this tombstone. So obviously there was someone mildly important that met their bitter end here. You also have, you know, the skull of one of the Ricky skulls just chilling here. So obviously nefarious things happen. You know, if you have a tomb and you have like this thing, why would there be a skull outside of it? You have the barred gate, and it looks like it's going to extend over here. You know, video game knowledge is going to say, obviously, you can go there by no clipping, but that's just going to end, so we can't really explore that one. You had a collapse and cave-in, and also this is what I don't understand about Warfrog. Hear me out. Here, it's obvious that the player can't go any further because you have a rock cave-in, so it tells me, I'm like, yeah, I'm screwed, I can't go that way. But these iron bars make me want to slip through, so if I find a way to slip through, and I do, and I go that way, well, you know it's just going to be like an invisible wall or something, so just put that kind of on the edge over there just with the iron bars if you still want that ambience. That's what I don't understand, the invisible boundaries that could be avoided visually. So this way also leads back up. You have a nice little meat hook situation with this little book, so you could do that stuff. This leads all the way back over here, so you can still explore. But there was still more down here that we need to take a look at. We had this side here, just kind of like another like entombment zone. This is probably like technically filled with human remains, like ashes or something that definitely doesn't need to be desecrated. It would be fun if, like, you know, I know some people are working on mods of like undead and things. If like undead can spawn down here and like you could use your torch to like, you know, destroy them. And obviously someone important perished down here because you have another stone right here. What does this say? Someone tell me, someone use their translator to tell me what this says. I'm pausing right now. There you go. Has to be important. You have unlit candles. Every other candle has been lit except for these ones, and you can't use your torch to light these candles. Or maybe you can, and there's a secret Easter egg we don't know about. Like, Blade and Sorcery seems like there's tons of Easter eggs like hidden in the world, but I think that's what they want you to believe, and there's actually really not that many secrets. It just seems like they're secrets. And you see what I'm talking about? Those candles are lit, but those aren't. Why? I'm crazy. But this is the sanctuary. It almost seems like mini Dark Souls-esque nexus point, like a waypoint. Like this is where you could save, you know, like they're worth some souls, and then you would go over here and pray over your bonfire. Let's take a look at one of the next maps. I just think especially this map is a missed opportunity outside of Crystal Hunt. Now that we've visited this sanctuary, let's go ahead and take a look at the town square. It used to be called Market, but now we have the town square. This map can be pretty big, so let's have some fun. Here we go, the nighttime marketplace. With these sandbox maps, like, I know that you can spawn in some dudes, right, and fight them yourself, but it would have been cool if the different factions occupied these levels, and when the player went there, like, cool things can happen. Like, I know we have Baron as the only NPC that talks, but it would have been fun to have like a generic, you know, couple of NPCs that were like, this guy would be like right here, and he could be another shopkeeper to be like, you want to buy some stolen things? Or he could be a fence and you could sell him stolen things that the Baron doesn't take. But I know I'm getting ahead of myself because, you know, there's world building lore here. It tells you that this is a shop. I know we can't go into these, you know, doors and stuff, but it makes you really feel like you can, like having 2 guards here or something. Let me tell you, let me just show you what I'm talking about. Let's use the NPC spawner spell, and I'm going to populate this. So you would have, well, he's not much of a guard with no shirts on, but imagine like this faction was here, and then we had this guy who was going to like sell me some wares, or girl, sorry, you could do it too. And then maybe you had a couple of civilians, like, just chilling like around this place, like, wow, we're civilians. And the map of this market has been changed, you know. Well, I keep calling it market because I called it marketplace for years, but there's just so much here. This building is new. I don't know if you guys knew that. Obviously you knew that, but if you didn't play prior to 1.0, you wouldn't necessarily know that it is new, but I assure you that it is. This wasn't here before. We had a bunch of these things just in a line here. Also, you didn't have, well, that was kind of there, but you didn't have this extension. You had another one of those over here where you can find the baguette sword. And take a look. This is the blacksmith zone. So you would have another like blacksmith NPC here. Like this goober. Imagine this goober's like, the master works all, you can't go wrong. He obviously, you know, he could have idle animations, just a very simple one of him just standing here going like this. Imagine I have a hammer in my hand and he would just be like, tink, tink, tink. He would stop. He would kind of look at it, put it back down, tink, tink. And then he would sometimes come back over here, put the thing away, stand for a second. Then he might go back over here. And if the player is a little bit closer, he would stop and he would say like, I'm a blacksmith or something. I don't know, just be creative, dude. Say something. Now, I can't tell if this is for a perfect like burglary situation where someone can break into the second floor, or just like where they do laundry. I don't know. I'm not French. You have some grain over here for some food. And you know what would be perfect over here? Obviously, Jonathan. Just a straight up Jonathan. And he'd be like, wow, look at that bird seed. And he'd be eating his grain. Go ahead, Jonathan. Eat your grain. I'm not going to stop you. And it doesn't stop here. You know, like this is just the inside of the marketplace. We can go to these roofs, and this map has been changed so much. So if you're familiar with the other things, you might actually be a tiny bit disappointed because the map used to be so huge. There was a lake. We don't have the lake anymore, which is a little devastating. I mean, it's cool that we have this stuff. And actually, before we go any further, let's explore the well. I'm going to need a nice little torch if we go down there. Okay, well, are we safe? Yeah, we're safe. Good. So let's just jump down there, break our legs. This well, I think used to have a secret. I'm not going to tell you what it was, but there was a big well. It would have been cool to get just some water down here. You know how there's water in the game and you could swim in it? Maybe like up to here, you could have added water, like some water over here. You could throw an enemy in and they could obviously meet their watery grave, or you can jump in safely and swim, and maybe you could swim down and find like a little secret thing. And then, of course, this rope would still be here so you could climb out without having to use the gravity spell. Also, am I crazy, or is there only the nighttime version of the sandbox map? Is there a daytime version? I wasn't paying attention. I guess I'll have to double check when I spawn the next map. But let's go on the outside because it has completely changed over here. For the better, for the worse, that's up to us to decide. Oh no, it looks like there's no collision on the outside of the map. Oh, that is actually kind of devastating. Oh, that is actually pretty devastating, I'm not gonna lie. I know players like myself and others used to love exploring outside of the marketplace. Over here was a little lake. You couldn't swim in it because the water wasn't really real water. I was hoping that it would have turned into real water for 1.0, so we did lose that. There used to be a really cool bridge over here that crossed over the water, and out here was like farmland. I'm actually a little bummed out about the change in this market map because it was literally massive. You can go all the way over there and everything had collision. So right now, boop, no collision. This is actually a huge setback for us. Massive setback. Unfortunately, we did lose some things as we gained some things with 1.0. But yeah, so far this map has my biggest criticism. It's still a cool map and they added like a lot of structures and everything, and you know, it adds to that medieval ambiance, but knowing what we lost from that, yeah, I'm a little sad. I'm not gonna lie. But let's see if there's a daytime version of the map. Let's see if you select town square and cycle through it. A marketplace at the heart of Viridian Town. In the dead of night, it isn't as quite as bustling. Doesn't look like you can change it. That is a little upsetting, to be honest. I wonder if you guys are as sad as I am. Okay, let's brighten our spirits though. Let's go ahead and take a look at the canyon because the canyon now looks beautiful and there's a lot added to it. Here we are, and take a look at this lighting. It almost looks like it's the Unreal Engine, you know, and there is lore here for sure. We have lots of lore that we're gonna have to go over. Of course, it's sandbox, so you have the lectors that we're gonna spawn things. But this is clearly where like a faction would be that took over. They'd be training here. They have their weapon rack. There was a place where they can like dry. Add water to these things. Please add water. It'd be great to, you know, drown an NPC. I know I sound like I'm crazy, but it should be there. You have barracks up here that I don't even know how like Obi-Wan would get out of there. Another Jonathan house, but no Jonathan. Unless, is there Jonathan in here? Jonathan, are you hiding in the shadows? Jonathan? No? But this is where you can sleep. But there's no natural way down from these barracks. You could be like, oh boy, I love, oh, just slip and then, ah! But look at that flowing water. It is clearly going somewhere from somewhere. We're gonna take a peek though. We're gonna go all the way to the edge. So this is also what I was talking about as far as like the edges of the maps. We all know, oh my sword! Well, that sucks. But we all know that the gravity spells this. I'm not cheating. I'm using the natural gravity in the game. And I know that these are sandbox maps. I understand that. But I feel like they took out a lot of these ones and kind of broke some of the immersion just because it's sandbox maps, and that's why they didn't necessarily use them per se in Crystal Hunt. But you know, I kind of digress on that one, but I shouldn't. Like, there's no spawn for the water. Like, what was stopping them from putting like a big rock structure that you couldn't get past that had a waterfall, and that's where it would spawn? I mean, they have a waterfall, it's over there, but now I can see the whole opposite side of the map. Like, you could have just closed this off. That's what I don't get. You could have just done it. It was there in old canyons. You have the water down there now, which, you know, we can go in, and that's cool. And you have the birds that are 12 frames per second. But no more toilet bowl. If you guys know what I'm talking about, but we have no more toilet bowl. And also over here, I wonder if this probably should have been closed because, wow, yes, it should have been closed. I mean, you know, you guys know this is my favorite game. You know it's my favorite game. And I think a big part of Blade and Sorcery is immersion and also exploration. It's not solely about combat and magic. It's a huge part of it, obviously. But I think when they make amazing maps like this and they give the player the freedom like this spell to fly around, and as you start doing it and exploring, I don't think like something like this is acceptable. This is really easy to get to. I mean, even if you weren't using the gravity spell and you climbed up here, this is kind of unacceptable. You could just put a big rock here, just close it off. Just take that asset in Unity and pull Bikini Bottom this way so the player doesn't naturally go there. Once again, another faction obviously is here. So they could have, you know, in Crystal Hunt, they could have been the faction that's just chilling here, like on patrol, just like you would go into an outpost and the enemies are just like on patrol, just do that. Just call the sandbox maps like, I don't know, contested points. And every now and then, like, you have to go there and uncontest the point or something and take the map back over for yourself. It could have been done, right? Like, I'm not crazy. No, I know this is burnt out. Like, obviously it's burnt out, like I can see the char, but I do wish you can relight this stuff, especially like this fire skill. That would have been so cool. Light! In fact, actually, I don't even know if you can light a torch like with that skill like that. Light the torch! Light the torch! See, you can't, why can't you do that? You can imbue it, but the torch can be imbued with fire, but I was hoping that, you know, that would light it. Because they have this here, you know, I can go over here and light the torch this way, but why can't my fire skill do it? It's just because this map itself is so cool. The canyon is so gorgeous. They did a lot of work on the canyon. It looks, especially coming from like U7 to this one, this canyon is literally nuts, especially with the swimmable water. But something I really want to show you guys that adds a lot of like credence to what I'm talking about. There is, what is this, Naruto? You have these snakes here. Like, it's obviously an ancient clan or something. Like this can easily tie into Crystal Hunt. Easily. Like, you can even put crystals in those eyes right there. And that could have been like a mini secret in the level. A player can go up here and be like, is that a crystal? Yoink! And they could pull it out and it could be like a lesser crystal to collect or something. I don't know. Let's dive down now. And I'm going to hit that. No, we're going to dive perfectly. Flip into the water, into the muddy poop water. Let's swim up. Of course, you could swim in the game, which is so good. And let's see where this kind of like leads, you know? Like, it's going to lead somewhere cool. You have a glorious waterfall right here. And then, once again, it leads nowhere. Oh, I'm so upset. Like, it could have, and then you're on the opposite side of the map, like, instantly. Like, I really think they could go back in here and just close off part of the map and kind of restrict the player from seeing this stuff. Like, this is in the game. Especially, you can really only necessarily mess around in these ones, like in sandbox mode, per se. Like, I guess you can get all these skills in regular Crystal Hunt. But to see it like this one, and to see, like, there's all these points that the player can naturally go to, like, within the limits of the game without using mods, and to find, like, there's, like, a lot of, like, points like that, it's a little upsetting. But going back to the map itself, built into what it could be for 1.0, there could have easily just been a faction over here that the player just has to go in and be like, okay, time to defeat this faction. Basically what I'm saying, it writes itself. Let's take a quick break and visit the arena. Not so much has changed right there. We're going to see like the big Azure star, but let's just take a peek before we go anywhere else. The arena. So the arena has, you know, ever since what, U11, U12, changed into this one. Old school, you used to have the lector right in the middle. It would get in the way of combat, but you can bash people's brains into it. Now it's over here, so you have to really go out of your way to bash people's brains. But they added, you know, a couple things. You know, the wagon is obviously added. This ladder is now here, so you can easily, naturally climb up. It's obvious that this is a coliseum. This is where people would fight. It would be cool in, like, Crystal Hunt if random NPCs were just kind of like here. Well, that's a chicken. But imagine that these were civilians and they're watching your battle. Or they could have just made chickens. You know, that would have been just a fun little Easter egg, is that you spawn here. There's like a bunch of Jonathans just watching your fight. And, you know, you gotta obviously survive those waves like you do. And once you survive those waves, you win. And then all the chickens at once can make a bagok noise, like bagok, bagok, bagok. And you're like, what the hell? And then it fades away and returns you back to your player home. You have this over there. Once again, it looks like it's going to go somewhere. You can use the Yamato to no clip if you guys really want to. Or you could use your camera controls to no clip. That's up to you. Once again, you can fly way up here. You could have always flown up here prior to even like U7, you could fly up there and you would see all that stuff. It's just, for me, it's really easy to naturally go out of bounds in these sandbox levels. Like what? I feel like you could have put something here. And this is what I was talking about earlier. You can see, obviously this is where the enemies spawn, but you can see like where it kind of leads or doesn't lead, I should say. In fact, you could probably stick yourself in here if you really were trying. You're like, okay, oops, one-sided. And, well, at least they made it. You can get outside there. The arena really doesn't have too many secrets in here. Not a lot of places where you can explore. You can go to the outskirts over here. And we'll see if they still have collision in here. Seems like a lot of times they were taken out of collision. At least we still have some collision over here, so that's interesting. And you have the beacon to light so we can tell Gondor we need help. But yes, this one hasn't been changed so much. I just wanted to take a brief intermission before we go to the Citadel. And the Citadel is massive. Now, in this video, we're not going to cover anything in the Outpost or the Delgarian ruins just yet. Perhaps if you guys really like this video, I will visit the Outpost rooms themselves and the Delgarian ones, and we can, you know, kind of critique or take a look at those ones independently. But right now, I really want to go to the Citadel because this one here, other than the canyon and whatnot, this here, I think it has the biggest, well, I guess I'll just chalk it up to missed opportunity because there is so much here. This is where the player starts in the Citadel. And I'll tell you what, there is a lot of stuff. Visually, to take it all in, you're like, holy crap, just look at this. I mean, I grew up on an island, far from where I live now. A long island, one would say. And this kind of gives me those vibes of like when I was a kid, like chilling on those coastlines, especially down over there. I'll go there in just a sec for you guys, but it gives me those vibes. But before we do that, let's go ahead and explore down over here because you can, of course, get to the top of this Citadel and just kind of like chill, Assassin's Creed style, like if you wanted to. You can just be like, yes, me and my seagull friends. Come back over here, seagull friend. No, I was going to do like a whole bit with you. Well, I guess that's not happening then. I could jump, but I'm not going to do that. So, why do I feel like this one has the biggest missed opportunity? Because this is one of the largest maps that is just sandbox. There's just sandbox things that happen in this map. There's like seemingly secrets like scattered all around. You have the king statues. Once again, you have the zippy boy lines. There's stuff you can do over there, which I'll get to. And you have a whole like mini ocean down there that you could have added things. In fact, let's go see if there is a secret down here. All right, let's do this. Dive right into the water. I'll be fine. You guys will be fine also. Just breathe together. Wow, it is crazy deep down here. You get like thalassophobia down there. But look, so this of course has a sunken ship. They could have put like a hidden piece of lore on here. Like at the very least, like, you know, there could have been like a little lore piece. I know you could find a secret sword somewhere if you find a bow that looks like this. And it would be like right there, and it can kind of tell like a mini story of like what happened like to the ship. Maybe they can be like, we had just come from a different coastline looking for crystals, and unfortunately a rogue wave that looked like PS2 back in the day crashed us in here. We tried to seek shelter, but the mystery of this citadel was too great for us, and we got lost in the catacombs, and our souls turned to skeleton, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like down over here, obviously you have like a little like under bridge where someone has to do maintenance, like oh my god, this is my job. I do maintenance on the bridge. See, they slip. Oh no, but I have magic. They wouldn't have had magic. And I love that the meat hook is here. So obviously the person has to climb, get onto the meat hook, throw themselves on this. Like they have to be a master assassin to have the job. Now we have all this fun stuff. There's a secret I'll show you in a second. We have all this fun stuff. Of course, the player can climb up over here. There's like the guard barracks, and you would run all the way over here. And another faction, right? They could have had different faction flags. Would have been over in the Citadel. There could have been the Eye, you know, the Eye. And then this one here, I was actually surprised that these doors never opened and the player couldn't go inside. They could have reused like the outpost door asset, you know what I'm saying? That one church. It could have just been that church. Just open it up. It could have just been that church because you would want to go over here. There's that ladder up over here. If you were like to climb into a top, there could have been a hole. But yeah, this one here, like I just wish this opened up and had some meaning inside of it because it's such a cool building. It even has like the secret underzone that I'm about to show you. Through this over here, we have the dark tunnels. And I would suggest putting your headphones on for this one because these get a little unsettling. Especially if you come down here without a torch and it's just darkness. I'm going to walk down here and speak softly so you can hear the dripping water the squeaking bats. It could even be rats. They obviously could have put a jump scare down here. Would have been super easy to put a creepy thing, or just like you would hear voices. Like, why not add? Remember the door in U12 and everything had, you know, those like whispers like, oh my God, you didn't do your homework, and you would hear random nonsense. I wish they had whispering, echoey sounds down here, because look, it's a whole world down here. You could be like, oh, did I find my way out? Death. There's just so much here. The collapse thing, other guard barracks, and if you go the other direction has Cosby's house. I'm just kidding. I always call it Cosby's house. But the other direction leads out as well to the other side of the Citadel. So let's keep going down this way. And you'll be like, hello? This gets extra creepy over here. That's the way out. And then over here should be another creep zone. Yeah, the original Cosby building. I'm going to grab another master staff for this one and imbue both of these ones with fire and get around. I'm sick of getting around with gravity, man. I'm just going to ask where gravity's going and catch up with it later. Now what I'm going to do is this. Use 2 fire staffs to literally fly. Jump up and just go for it. So let's explore the coastline down here, and I can get a weird, like, out-of-body nostalgia trip as I go down over there and get reminded of childhood homes. But this beach has collision. And imagine if there was just a spawner over here. Like, obviously I flew over there, and once again, you could just use gravity to hover and land over here. There's full collision. And unfortunately, you could have easily, you know, put it on that rock, duplicate the rock kind of, and just turn it that way. I don't know why. Like, I don't want to see over here. Like, you let me go over here. Just put the stuff that block the vision at the very least. Also, you have assets with like unwrapped textures just stretch all over the place. It's fully 3D modeled. They have no collision on them. I guess they didn't care to put it on there. But, you know, with basic colliders on here, and just throw like wood textures, just unwrap them, throw them on there. Could have done it. Could have done it with this too. Like this thing, this thing has unwrapped textures. Does it have collision? It does. So this thing is obviously an asset they use from over there. Has collision and unwrapped textures on things that have no collision and wrapped. I'm sorry, and unwrapped textures also. It's just kind of weird decisions for me. They also changed the way the waves work in this one. If you guys remember, even in U12, you would have those like weird animated waves. It looked kind of cool from a distance, but when you got up close to it, it looked awful. So it's cool. It makes you just kind of like want to just chill. And honestly, it is a beautiful map. And unfortunately, a shame that it won't come to Nomad. As you can see, even on the PC, I mean, there's things that they are doing for performance, and they're cutting different areas off. Even this over here, like the town that I kind of grew up in, had a version of this like on the coast, like in the town. It's so weird, man. Anyway, let's go to that other zone. You have these little like fisherman ships over here that disappear when you get close to them because they don't have their collision. So if you get kind of close to this one, boop, out of the matrix. Kind of weird, right? I don't know why that happens. It's as like a couple of, as you get closer, like the texture disappears. I don't believe it has collision also, so you just fall right through it. I can understand why it does and like why go over here, but it would be nice. It would just be nice. Now, this part over the beach here is just so secluded, and it just makes you, I don't know, just like liminal vibes over here. Of course, we can kind of see that there was a war going on, and that makes me sad, but just being over here and seeing like a cut-off point, there's like kind of nature over there, even though it's PlayStation 2, but just being over here and just staring out in the ocean. Maybe for some of you guys this means nothing, but to me it gives me some really good vibes. And that's what I like about the Citadel, is the cool vibes, and you can just like explore. I just wish that as I looked around, I know I keep saying it, but they just, you know, either do something with that, close that off. It's really not that that tough to do. Like, I know I'm just being, seems like I'm being extra critical in this video, and that's fine. And from here, it just seems like the Citadel's also so far away. It reminds me that I don't have to be a murderous goon the entire time. I could just take in and enjoy the view. Then there is the other side of the map. You can go down over there, which also reminds me of when I was young. But you have this wall that it looks like they actually even changed this side of it too. Like, so they did, make changes on this side of the map, but this all didn't used to have collision. So I'm interested to see if it does. This is a big moment for me. Is there collision? Damn it. I wish this wall had collision. I want to fight on here and knock people down. And does this beach have collision? Because that side does, and I don't remember if this side does. It didn't used to. There's like, well, that's odd. Nope, damn it. There's just a lot to this map. And, I want to go into this ocean down here. So I'll see you guys back home, okay? I'm just going to go ahead and enjoy this. You guys do whatever you want. I'll see you back at the house. Well, my friends, that was exploring the sandbox maps in Blade and Sorcery. I wish they had more prominence and importance in Crystal Hunt. There's tons of missed opportunities there. But it could be up to modders to, well, connect those dots. I mean, we have quest framework, but I do hope they mildly tweak some of these maps to get rid of some of those boundaries and some of those visual issues. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know. Maybe we'll do more and we'll explore the dungeons and talk about the lore of the dungeons and all that fun stuff in Outpost and in the Delgary ones. So if you're new to downloadable content, make sure you subscribe. It's literally free. Hit the big red subscribe button and join up. And other than that, I'm Drifter from Downloadable Content. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you next time.